Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 tips and tricks, hidden details, and things you might not know about the new stunt race creator that's just been added into Grand Theft Auto Online. That's right, while I am certainly not the best creator in the world, in fact, I am horrible at designing races, I have stumbled upon a few cool hidden details, tips, and tricks that Rockstar haven't really just publicly made aware, so I think I'm going to talk about those in this video. I'll leave some links in the description if you want to check it out more for yourself. And this impacts not only people who play races, which I know is going to be a lot of you guys, including myself, but also the people designing and making the races. So this is great for both parties, creators, and players just like myself. So let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. The first thing you now need to know is the prop limit is now 150. So that's actually really cool, but it's also interesting because you couldn't just simply slap down props wherever. Rockstar's kind of got a limit on it so that they can make sure everything loads into the game properly, that the race isn't laggy or buggy or anything like that. So the new prop limit is 150. I know a lot of players are going to want to go gung-ho crazy creating these amazing races with tons of props, but do know you do need to limit yourself because you are capped at 150. Now, to help you with that, Rockstar has put like a little bar in the bottom right-hand corner, and as that starts to get more full, you'll know that you're running out of space and you're running out of props to use. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your races, and if you're getting towards kind of the middle of the race and you're starting to fill up, you might want to say, okay, it's time to wrap up the race here. So that is the new prop limit. It is set at 150. Another interesting thing that I think is really important for players and designers as well is that when you set the context setting for the stunt races, so that could be GTA, standard, non-contact, note that when you set that, that cannot be changed. So if you're doing a stunt race and you're building it and you set it as non-contact, know that when everyone plays your race, you're not going to be able to change that out of non-contact. It's set forever. So unlike the normal races where you can change between them, for whatever reason, the stunt races are locked to whatever the creator chooses in their settings when they're building the race. So please do keep that in mind, creators, when you are doing that. There is no way to change it for racers when we play. So once again, just keep that in mind. All right, moving on to the next tip, and this kind of just ties into what we talked about. Did you know that the new props are available in other land races too, which is super cool. So if you've published previous land races in the game, you can actually go back and modify those races, and you can build them or modify them or update them with the brand new stunt race props. So I think that is super cool because there's a ton of amazing races in Grand Theft Auto Online already, but with these new stunt props, you could really create some awesome, amazing things to be added into the game. So that's pretty cool right there. If you have previous land races in the game or want to even build a new one, you can use them with the stunt props. Now, another added bonus to this is that if you do that, you can build stunt races using the regular race creator. And what this will allow you to do is actually then give your racers an option to change between the different context settings. So again, I know that's kind of confusing, but if you build a stunt race using the regular race creator, you'll be able to change the context settings in the lobby. However, there's two important things that you're going to miss out on there. You're going to lose the stunt physics that actually come into the game, and you're also going to lose the particular camera angles that happen as well. So keep that in mind. If you are very, very much concerned about racers not being able to change their context settings, then you can build them in the regular races. However, you will lose out on those two things, as I mentioned. The stunt physics, which really impacts bikes, because it's harder to fall off on the stunt races with bikes, and you also lose the camera angles, which to a degree, I think the camera angles in the stunt races are a little trickier and a little difficult, so I actually don't mind that, but I would hate to lose the stunt physics. But if you really are concerned about changing the context settings, doing them in the regular race is the way to go. All right, now slightly a little bit of bad news actually comes from the fact that it turns out you're not able to remove any world props in the game. So I'm not sure if Rockstar has done this in their, created races that they've published, but there's been many creators complaining that they can't remove light poles, they can't remove stop signs, they can't remove anything, any annoying things from races that you would typically run over, or when you're creating races that you would knock into or run over. So I think that's really dumb because in the Rockstar created races, there are clearly props removed, But for the custom ones, at least as of right now, so many people are complaining that, once again, they cannot remove those world props like, stop signs, mailboxes, light poles from the races. And I run into those all the time, and they're so annoying, and I get spun out. So I'm really wondering why that wasn't a thing. The ability to remove simple, basic items like that from the game. I guess we'll never know. Hopefully Rockstar decides to change their mind on that and eventually allow us to remove those silly props. That would make the races so much better. Okay, moving on. Another thing I want to talk about is Rockstar. They released a trailer for the Stunt Race Creator today. It's really, really cool, and it kind of just shows you like some of the basic things you can do. However, in the trailer, they're obviously showing off building these really cool races. Now, I was thinking to myself, is Rockstar going to launch these races in the game? That would be really cool, because what's the point of building them for a trailer if they aren't going to be releasing them in game? I mean, obviously they could just do it for the trailer, but they look so cool. I mean, some of the ones in here have like the crazy loops, and they've got like this bowling pin fire loop whole thing. It's crazy. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Rockstar also released a trailer today if you're interested in that. I'm obviously not just going to upload that on my channel. You guys can go over to Rockstar Games and check that out. But inside the trailer itself, there is, like I said, these new stunt races that they've built, and I wonder if they are going to be adding those in the weeks to come. I would imagine that going forward, Rockstar is going to want to promote custom stunt races and the Stunt Race Creator. So who knows if they're going to be adding their own Rockstar verified races along with the ones we saw in the trailer. That would be super cool. Moving on, another thing I noticed, and it's something that I'll touch on in another video a little bit later too, this event week is abnormally longer. So it's starting today, which is August 2nd, but is ending on August 11th, which is a Thursday. Typically, these event weeks only last 6 days. They go from like a Tuesday to a Monday or a Friday to a Thursday. However, this one is going from Tuesday to next Thursday. So it's the longest event week we've really seen outside of the Independence Day special. So once again, I'm really not sure what's going on here. I don't know if Rockstar's trying to get on another like Friday to Friday schedule, and this is just the best way to go about doing it. But it's a longer event week, which is actually kind of cool. Something else you might not have known, and we kind of touched on this earlier, that you can add props to existing land races, but those are the only races you can add them to. So I know that it doesn't necessarily make sense to add these props to whether it be a sea race or an air race, but think about it. How cool would that be if you wanted to create an air race that had the fire hoops? That would actually be kind of awesome. Flying jets and whatever you might be, Bezras or planes, through the fire hoops. But sadly, you can't do that. It looks like the new props are only there for the land races and even water races. You could use the jet skis to like launch off those little ramps. That would be extremely cool. So I wonder why Rockstar did those kind of things where they only allow it for land races. But as far as the other races go, it turns out that you cannot use those props there, which is slightly sad. And it's unfortunate those other creator modes kind of got shafted a little bit. All right, moving on. Something else I noticed and something else that was brought to my attention was the fact that there seems to be a missing color for all of the props in the Stunt Race Creator. So if we go back to the original photo that Rockstar teased for the Cunning Stunts DLC, you'll know that it featured the Maze Bank building wrapped around in this kind of like, American flag or like American Stars and Stripes themed tube. It was really cool. A lot of people assumed that it was going to be coming closer to Independence Day. Well, it turns out that that tubing is not in the game yet. So I wonder if Rockstar is going to be adding different colors for the props and the tubes and all the stunt stuff in game, very similar to what they do with some of the articles of clothing in game. Just like the Jock Cranley suit was getting different colors like red, gold, silver. I wonder if we're going to be getting different colors of props in the Stunt Race Creator, because it's not there now. If you try and scroll through it, you can't use it. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on here. Maybe that's something Rockstar is going to be saving for future event weeks. I'm really not too sure. Moving on, another kind of sad thing, if you're a fan of creating other game modes like death matches, captures, or LTS, it might be kind of sad to you that only the Stunt Creator gets the 150 prop limit. So again, that is kind of disappointing that Rockstar didn't up it for all the categories and that they only did it for the stunt races. I'm not sure if that has something to do with the new props or the existing props in the game. But unfortunately, that is kind of disappointing because there's going to be a ton of death matches, captures, and LTS is still created in game. And I know those guys that are creating those amazing death matches and whatnot would love to get an increase in the prop limit. But sadly, like I said, that 150 bump is only for the stunt creator. All right, and finally, last but not least, two things that I thought were pretty cool and interesting is these speed boosters or slowdown strips can actually be set to different intensities. So you can set them between weak, normal, strong, extra strong, and ultra strong, which is super cool. And some people might not know about that when placing them down. They might just slap them down and say, okay, those are good to go. So do note that you can actually change those, which is super cool. And you can also play around with a lot of different sound settings and even some pretty cool audio samples. So apparently this was found. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you want to look at it in a little bit more detail. But apparently you can trigger different sounds via speakers. So that's going to be another cool thing to play around with. I couldn't actually figure out how to get this going. I'm not sure if I was doing it wrong or if I was doing this incorrectly, but apparently you're going to be able to do like crazy different sounds and whatnot when you go by different things or different items in the game. So that's super cool and another great new feature that I think was epic for Rockstar Games to add to the Stunt Race creator. But really, that's all the information that I have for you guys today regarding some of the things you might not have known, some tips and tricks, and a whole lot more regarding this Stunt Race creator. I'm going to have one more video coming out later, as well as a live stream, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you did go on to enjoy this video, however, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.